you gonna bring some clowns next week?
Yeah, they won't be as well endowed.
I think he's making a circus out of our profession.
Yeah, I love this. And you hear him making a circus.
Some finds are priceless, some fights unforgettable. But these storage wars moments definitely changed the game. Long after the auctions ended, these moments continued to ignite heated debates, fuel endless speculation, and keep fans arguing about what really happened. So, which events shocked fans the most? Which ones left a mark that still gets talked about today? Let's dive in and relive the moments that shaped the show forever. Bidding wars turn physical on set. The world of Storage Wars is all about high stakes and competitive bidding, but sometimes tensions boil over in ways that cameras can't fully contain. During a 2015 shoot, production was forced to come to a halt when three of the show's biggest personalities, Dan Dotson, Dave Hester, and Laura Dotson, ended up in a physical altercation that shocked the crew. The incident reportedly began when Dan missed seeing a bid from fellow cast member Mary Padian, causing him to prematurely end a bidding war. Dave immediately called out the mistake, but instead of resolving the issue calmly, the disagreement quickly escalated. Frustration and pride collided, turning a routine auction scene into chaos. According to sources, the situation spiraled rapidly. Dan and Dave got into a heated shoving match, each trying to assert dominance in the moment. Laura, unwilling to stay on the sidelines, jumped into the fray. In the scuffle, she reportedly scratched Hester's face before being tossed to the ground herself. The confrontation was intense enough that production had no choice but to stop filming for the day. Medical attention was required for Hester's scratches, and the crew had to manage the aftermath before the cameras could roll again. While the clash between Dave and Dan left the air thick with tension, it was far from the only moment that left a lasting impression on fans. The cost of reality TV fame. For Storage Wars stars Renee and Casey Nazoda, the excitement of bidding on storage units came with an unexpected downside. Their on-screen successes, documented for all to see, showed the treasures they brought home and stocked in their second-hand store, Bargain Hunter's thrift store. Fans of the show could practically follow along with every purchase, from rare collectibles to valuable merchandise, putting the Nazoda's growing inventory for all the world to see. Unfortunately, this visibility came at a price. By exposing the extent of their acquisitions, the Nazodas unintentionally made themselves targets. Their store was eventually burglarized, with thieves taking multiple items, including some of the rarer finds. The next incident was pretty much like what happened to the Nazodas, showing just how real the security risks can be for Storage Wars stars. When cybercrime hits reality TV stars, it wasn't just physical burglaries that affected the Storage Wars cast. Digital theft also took its toll. In 2012, Dan and Laura Dotson found themselves on the receiving end of a cyber attack that targeted their financial information. Hackers broke into their bank accounts, gaining access to credit card accounts and other sensitive personal data. Unlike a traditional robbery, there were no smashed windows or stolen items in sight. The crime unfolded silently behind the scenes, but the consequences were just as serious. The Dotsons faced unauthorized charges on their accounts, creating immediate stress and financial disruption. Luckily, the hackers weren't particularly skilled, as their errors triggered the credit card's security systems. The suspicious activity caused the cards to be frozen almost immediately, preventing further damage and alerting the couple to the breach. But what happens when dark chapters from the past resurface and threaten to cast a shadow over the image fans have come to cherish? Jared Schultz's checkered past. While fans often focus on the bidding wars and on-screen drama of Storage Wars, some of the show's real-life stories are far darker. Jared Schultz, one of the series' original stars, has a past that remained largely hidden from viewers until details surfaced online. Back in 1997, Jared was arrested for felony possession of a controlled substance, narcotics transportation, and driving under the influence. 2 years later, in 1999, he faced similar charges, this time with a parole violation added to the mix. These legal troubles ultimately led to a 16-month stint in state prison, a period that, by his own accounts, had a profound impact on his outlook and choices. While the show occasionally hinted at cast members' personal struggles, Jared's criminal history was never a central focus, keeping many fans unaware of the challenges he had faced before achieving television fame. While Jared's past struggles didn't necessarily change how fans viewed him, the next revelation might completely change the way you see Storage Wars and the concept behind the show. Abandoned doesn't always mean forgotten. On Storage Wars, the idea of abandoned lockers is often treated like a mystery or a gamble, but the reality behind why many of these units end up at auction is far more somber than the show suggests. Before a storage locker can be sold off, there's a long process that takes place. Rent has to go unpaid for a set period. Multiple notices are usually sent, and only after all that does a facility have the legal right to auction off the contents. By the time the cameras roll, a lot has already gone wrong. It raises an uncomfortable question. Do that many people really just forget about their storage units? In most cases, the answer is no. The reasons these lockers are abandoned are often rooted in hardship rather than carelessness. One common reason is death. Many people store personal belongings away with the intention of retrieving them later. But if they pass away unexpectedly, family members may never know the unit exists. Without anyone to continue payments or claim the items, the storage company has to empty its content. Betting on a stranger's obsession might sound a little odd, but you're about to see that some of the show's cast members are just as quirky. A weird relationship dynamics. Daryl Sheet's love life has had its fair share of eyebrow-raising moments, and the story of how he first connected with real estate agent Kimber Werfel is one of the most talked about. According to accounts shared over the years, their relationship didn't begin in a traditional or particularly romantic way. Instead, it started with a chance moment on the road that quickly turned into something far more intense. Daryl was driving when he noticed Werfel in another car. The two reportedly made brief eye contact before heading their separate ways. But for Daryl, that moment stuck. Rather than letting it go, he followed her for several miles, hoping to get her attention and find a way to introduce himself. It was a bold move, and one that many people would describe as uncomfortable by today's standards. Eventually, Daryl pulled alongside her vehicle, wrote his phone number on a piece of paper, and held it up for her to see. Surprisingly, Kimber called him. What could have easily ended as an awkward or unsettling encounter, instead turned into the beginning of a relationship. The two hit it off and began dating, proving that sometimes unconventional beginnings can still lead somewhere meaningful. Over the years, their relationship has been anything but smooth. Sheets and Werfel have gone through multiple breakups and reconciliations, and at times even moved locations to be closer to one another. Their on-again, off-again dynamic has fueled plenty of discussion among fans, especially given how unusual their first meeting was. Let's now delve into one of the biggest scandals that ever rocked Storage Wars. Inside the alleged paper trail behind Storage Wars. Rumors about Storage Wars being less spontaneous than it appears have circulated for years, but one claim in particular really poured fuel on the fire. Back in 2012, an unnamed source spoke to Radar Online and alleged that there may have been a clear paper trail behind some of the show's most exciting locker discoveries. According to the source, the production company didn't always leave things to chance. They claimed there were invoices, checks, and other forms of documentation showing cast members were sometimes compensated for providing items that were later discovered in lockers on camera. In other words, certain valuable or eye-catching finds may not have been abandoned treasures at all, but items deliberately planted to heighten drama and keep viewers hooked. What made the allegation even more intriguing was the claim that some of the receipts and reimbursement checks reportedly matched items that later appeared during episodes of the show. To critics, this suggested a level of orchestration that went far beyond simple editing or storytelling and into the realm of staged reality. The source went further, explaining how these moments were allegedly filmed. If a bidder opened a locker and the contents didn't deliver enough excitement, production would sometimes pause filming. During that break, valuable or interesting items could be added to the unit. Once filming resumed, the discovery would be reshot, creating the illusion that the bidder had just stumbled upon something incredible. If true, this would explain why some lockers seemed almost too good to be real, packed with rare collectibles, valuable antiques, or high-ticket items that conveniently appeared at the perfect moment. It also sheds light on why reactions sometimes feel rehearsed or unusually dramatic. Of course, these claims were never officially confirmed, and the network has consistently maintained that Storage Wars is authentic in its core premise. Still, allegations like these continue to shape how fans view the show. Whether exaggerated or accurate, they've added a lingering sense of doubt, making viewers wonder just how much of what they saw was genuine luck and how much was carefully manufactured for television. But what happens when a star on the show publicly confirms fans' worst fear about the show? Dave Hester's explosive lawsuit. In 2012, Storage Wars fan favorite and self-proclaimed villain, Dave Hester, shocked viewers when he publicly accused the hit A&E series of being far from authentic. Known for his aggressive bidding style and signature "you" catchphrase, Hester took his complaints beyond interviews and filed a lawsuit that threatened to expose the inner workings of the show. Hester's legal action targeted both A&E and the show's production companies, accusing them of wrongful termination, unfair business practices, and breach of contract. According to Hester, he had been fired not because of declining popularity or creative differences, but because he repeatedly complained about what he claimed were staged moments and fabricated storylines. He alleged that producers encouraged exaggerated drama and manipulated situations to make the show more entertaining, a claim that immediately fueled long-standing fan suspicions. The initial lawsuit, however, hit a roadblock. A judge dismissed the case after ruling that Hester's accusations lacked enough specific detail to move forward. While this might have appeared to be the end of the controversy, the court left the door open for Hester to return with clearer claims. He did exactly that in 2014, refiling the lawsuit with more precise allegations about how the show allegedly operated behind the scenes. Rather than playing out publicly in court, the refiled case was ultimately settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. Not long after the settlement, Hester made a surprising return to Storage Wars, leaving fans to speculate about what agreements were made behind closed doors. His comeback only intensified curiosity about what was true, what was exaggerated, and how much control production had over the outcomes seen on screen. While the lawsuit never officially proved the show was fake, it cracked open the door to uncomfortable questions. Hester's legal battle remains one of the most talked about controversies in Storage Wars history, and, as many insiders suggest, it may have revealed only a fraction of the drama happening off-camera. For anyone who's ever wondered just how loaded the cast of Storage Wars really is, now's the time to find out. The Storage Wars cast earns far more than fans ever realized. On Storage Wars, the cast often presents themselves as scrappy bargain hunters, risking their own cash in the hope that a dusty locker might contain a hidden treasure. Dressed casually and surrounded by clutter, they hardly look like reality TV millionaires. But behind the scenes, the financial rewards of appearing on the hit A and E series were far more impressive than most fans ever imagined. This surprising truth came to light during Dave Hester's widely publicized lawsuit against the network. Court documents revealed that Hester was earning an eye-opening $25,000 per episode just for appearing on the show. Even more shocking was the guaranteed minimum of 26 episodes per season. That alone meant Hester could count on at least $650,000 in base pay annually, regardless of whether the lockers he bought turned out to be winners or total busts. The perks didn't stop with episode payments. According to the lawsuit, Hester also received a non-accountable expense account totaling $124,500. Unlike traditional expense reimbursements, this type of account didn't require detailed documentation, making it essentially an extra income meant to cover costs associated with filming. On top of that, he reportedly received a $25,000 signing bonus simply for agreeing to return to the series. While the exact salaries of other cast members weren't publicly disclosed, it's reasonable to assume that longtime fan favorites and major personalities were earning comparable sums. The show's massive popularity and consistent ratings made its stars valuable assets to the network. Things took a serious turn when a producer chimed in, turning the rumor into more of a fact. What did he reveal, and how did fans react? Executive producer admits to some production meddling. For years, Storage Wars has insisted that what viewers see on screen is mostly authentic, and one of the people most vocal about defending the show was executive producer Tom Beers. During a live panel discussion, Beers stood firmly by the series, stating, "I can honestly tell you that the stuff found in those containers is found in storage containers." On the surface, that sounded like a clear confirmation that the discoveries were real and not staged. However, that reassurance quickly lost its shine when Beers later admitted to behind-the-scenes manipulation. According to him, production often filmed as many as 30 auctions in a single day. To keep episodes exciting and fast-paced, the production team would sometimes combine items found in several different lockers and present them as if they all came from one unit. While this tactic was meant to enhance entertainment value, it raised serious questions about the show's authenticity. For many fans, this crossed the line from creative editing into outright misrepresentation, reinforcing long-standing suspicions that the bidding and discoveries were being massaged for television. Adding even more fuel to the controversy is Dave Hester's return to the show. When Hester filed his explosive lawsuit accusing Storage Wars of being fake, it dramatically escalated the rumors surrounding the series. Legal documents carry far more weight than anonymous sources or online speculation, making his claims difficult to ignore. Yet, despite those accusations, A and E eventually settled with Hester privately and welcomed him back onto the show. That decision raised eyebrows. Under the terms of his new contract, it's widely believed Hester is now required to stay loyal to the series and refrain from publicly criticizing its production. This is a sharp contrast to what he once stated in court, where he bluntly claimed, "The truth is that every aspect of the series is fake." Since his return, those accusations have completely stopped. While the network may have quieted one of its loudest critics, the combination of production admissions and legal drama only deepens the mystery. Instead of putting rumors to rest, these revelations suggest there may be far more Storage Wars secrets still waiting to be uncovered. Now, let's dive into the relationship vibes of one of the show's fan-favorite couples. Inside Dan and Laura Dotson's miracle marriage. Dan and Laura Dotson's love story feels almost as dramatic as the auctions they're famous for. The two first crossed paths back in 1996, and from the very beginning, there was something unmistakable between them. Laura has often recalled being instantly captivated by Dan's rapid-fire chant and boundless energy as an auctioneer. Watching him work a crowd, she had a sudden, almost prophetic thought. She was going to marry that man. It didn't take long for that feeling to turn into reality. Their connection was immediate and deep. Both have said that once they truly looked at each other, they knew they were perfectly matched. That certainty led them straight to marriage, sealing a partnership that would later become one of the most recognizable duos on Storage Wars. Just 4 months after tying the knot, Laura discovered she was pregnant, and life began moving fast in more ways than one. As their family started to grow, Dan also brought Laura into his professional world. He taught her the art of auctioneering, helping her find her own rhythm and confidence behind the podium. Together, they built not only a marriage but also a shared career, standing side by side through the highs and lows of business and fame. Their strongest test came years later in 2014, when Dan suddenly suffered a double brain aneurysm while in Palm Springs, California. The situation was dire. Doctors reportedly gave him only a 4 to 20% chance of surviving, a devastating prognosis that could have shattered even the strongest families. Throughout the terrifying ordeal, Laura never left his side, offering constant support and hope when the odds looked impossible. Against expectations, Dan survived the surgery and began an extraordinary recovery. Even more remarkably, he was able to leave the hospital just over a week later, a moment that felt nothing short of miraculous. For Dan and Laura, the experience only deepened the bond they had believed in from the very start, proving that their marriage was built to endure even life's most unthinkable challenges. Which of these moments shocked you the most? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.